Welcome, it's Denome, and this is the market update for the Bitcoin and crypto markets. And today is 13th of March 2023. What a weekend! So, the number one thing that happened is that USDC depegged, and that blew me away. I was not expecting that. I don't think a lot of people were expecting that. And that's what happened. And if we take a look at this chart, this is the USDC compared to USDT. So two stable coins, and the value of USDC fell about 13.7% from the top here. And even now we're looking at the price here. The price is still about 1.3% down from the actual peg. So this is not great. And when this happened, or the depegging started, what I did is I basically went all in on Bitcoin. And the reason is that once you lose the trust, once you basically see behind the curtain, it's like the Wizard of Oz moment, that I realized that a lot of the value in crypto is actually a derivative of the stable coins. And the stable coins are just an extension of the traditional finance. And because of all these things, I ran through a few thought processes in my mind, and then I made the call, like, I'm gonna liquidate everything into Bitcoin. And that's basically my play, what I did over the weekend. And now that I've had time to actually analyze the situation, I do have a little bit of a different plan. I will talk about that later. But I bought Bitcoin when it was 20,500, and the depeg was only about 2% here. So from yesterday, I'm basically up about 5% on my portfolio because of me selling everything and Bitcoin now pumping to 22,500. So that was a good move from my part, but I'm not happy what happened, but it's a good wake-up call for me. But even if you are not a doomsayer, like perhaps I may sound like that, you may benefit from this situation, because as you can see, USDC is still not in the peg, which means that once USDC goes back to the peg, you can make that 1.3% difference. Because if we take a look at the announcements from Circle, Circle is the company that issues USDC. There was a lot of speculation going on, but the facts were that about $40 billion of USDC have been minted, and the reserves are held at different banks and US Treasury bills. But $3.3 billion of the reserve assets that were in cash, they actually were at a bank called SVB, or Silicon Valley Bank, and that bank got shut down by regulators. So when that happened, people started to speculate that they cannot redeem the USDC back into USD, and that caused the depegging, and then all these things started to escalate. First, I actually bought, but then I started looking at this collateral ratio of DAI, and this was 40%, then it was 45%, then it was 48%, then 50%, and now it's 64% in USDC. So DAI is basically 2/3 of a derivative of USDC now. So people have been taking their assets out of this DAI, because as you can see, the collateral ratio is only 144% at the moment. So there might be a lot of liquidations coming on DAI quite soon, and that may cause another kind of cascade market crash situation in the coming days as well, if this continues and people lose trust in the stable coins, like perhaps I have lost some of my trust as well. But anyway, going back into the situation with USDC, the reason why I think it will go back to with 1-to-1 is that SVB Bank got bailed out by the US government, and the Silvergate also got bailed out by the US government. So USDC will be redeemable 1-to-1 with the US dollar once the redemptions open on Monday, normal banking hours again. So I think that's, I don't know, 6 hours from now or something like that. So if they open it, then the peg will go back. So there's a small chance of profit here if you want to take this opportunity here. Personally, I'm probably not taking this opportunity, but if you believe in this opportunity, then it's an easy gain here. Anyway, something you have to understand about USDC is that 77% of the assets are actually in US Treasury bills, which are not instantly redeemable for cash, and 23%, about 10 billion, were in cash, and basically 1/3 of this cash position got stuck with SVB. But now that they got bailed out, they are now in the process of moving everything into the BNY Mellon bank. So if you believe that BNY Mellon bank is not going to go down, then USDC is going to be fine again. But the situation with the SVB is that it's not the only bank that has issues. Since 2020, Federal Reserve, they came up with a new law, which means that banks no longer have to have any reserve assets, and they can basically lie to their depositors as well. And because the interest rates have been raising so fast and so hard, we have never seen this in our lifetimes, which means that we're currently traversing uncharted waters. So I think the banking sector in the United States is in a trouble at the moment, and Fed has a meeting on Monday as well, what they will be doing. And from my perspective, and why I'm quite bullish on Bitcoin at the moment, is that if the Federal Reserve has to come out and bail out these other banks as well, not only SVB, but other banks as well, that means there will be more money printing. And if there's more money printing, that's going to be good for the price of Bitcoin. Let's actually put the USD Bitcoin price here. So that will be good for the price of Bitcoin. And if we go to the other route, that the US government doesn't bail out banks, well, if you cannot trust banks, where are you going to put your money? Are you going to put your money into like real cash and gold? Well, that makes a lot of sense. But Bitcoin, it's not. You can hold it in your own wallet. You can self-custody like I have, and then nobody can take your money away from you. And you can put any amount there. Nobody will ask any questions about it, at least at this moment in time. So I think Bitcoin will benefit even from a system-wide crash if the Federal Reserve does nothing. So in both of these scenarios, I think Bitcoin is a winner. Even though Bitcoin may lose value in the short term, I think it will gain more value in the long term because more people will start losing trust in the institutions. But for the overall crypto market, even though we have seen these bounces across the board basically, it's quite hard for me to invest into altcoins at this moment in time, especially like protocol coins like AVE or CRV or some other assets like that I was bullish on before. And the reason is basically that the whole crypto market, or these protocol coins, they are a derivative of the stablecoin market, because layer 1 blockchains that host the stablecoins, the value is, or a lot of the value is coming from the stablecoin market inside their blockchain, and a lot of the value for these protocol coins is also from the stablecoin market. But if you start to believe that there might be a systemic crash coming even to the established banking sector that we saw in 2008 as well, it's very hard to believe in these crypto stablecoin companies either. So if you don't believe in the crypto stablecoin companies, it's quite hard to invest into the protocol coins, in my opinion. And for that reason, I think Bitcoin in this scenario that we're currently in is basically the best or the safest place. But you should have like a cash position as well, because if there will be limits on how much money you can withdraw from the ATM, that's going to cause problems in the real life. And if there's some transition, like this over weekend situation we had with the SVB, and we had to wait until Monday, that can create some market chaos. So it's good to have some cash so you can at least go over the weekend, so the government and the banks can do their deals together and bail out the wealthy bankers again and resume operations. So cash is a very good thing to have, also gold. But again, this doesn't mean that there will be a systemic crash, but I just think that in all situations Bitcoin is basically the winner, because we're talking about trust in the banking system. Bitcoin is a separate monetary system where you don't need the banks, so it's good for that. And even if the banks get bailed out, Bitcoin should be good for that also, because of the inflation that ensues as well. So that's basically my reasoning for Bitcoin. If you can get some other physical assets or companies that deal with physical goods, that may be another interesting play for the coming weeks as well. But overall, probably just having cash and not getting liquid, not using a bank that gets into a crash. That's probably, it might be even better than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin might go down in the short term as well. But anyway, that's pretty much everything I had to say. DAI, it's very hard for me to trust because it has the USDC here, but USDC still is gonna get, or it already got bailed out, or the SVB got bailed out, which means that the USDC got bailed out. So this should become redeemable during Monday as well. That's basically it for the update. For me, for my plan at the moment is to have the Bitcoin position, but I will be selling my Bitcoin a little bit to separate my fiat holdings onto separate banks on multiple countries going forward. But because the redemptions got halted for USDC, I could not basically change my crypto into fiat with the good terms that I liked. That's why I went for Bitcoin. But now when the operations resume again, I will probably convert a little bit more Bitcoin into cash and place that cash on separate bank accounts, just so that I'm protected in all scenarios basically. And then I have dry powder if Bitcoin goes down as well. But it's quite hard for me to have stable coins at the moment. But USDC, it should be fine. It should be fine if you trust the BNY Mellon. Personally, I have not checked how good a BNY Mellon is, so I still have to check that one out. But it should be fine, but it may not be fine. That's the problem there. But I know that Bitcoin will be fine anyway. That's basically my reasoning for the moves. If you are interested in actually joining my Telegram group, because I was explaining all these moves and my position and the changes that I made in my portfolio and my thinking throughout this whole crash here, I'm sharing that in Telegram in real time. So if you're interested in that, there's a link in the description to actually join the chat, and it's free if you want to join there as well. So anyway, that's basically it for the update. Just for the chart, we're basically just back above the trend here. So if we hold it, that should be fine for Bitcoin. But if we go below it, then that's actually probably gonna crash again or go sideways. But I was looking at it. Yeah, let's actually talk about it. So on the daily here, when we dipped below this line, that's basically when I went for USDC, and here I converted the USDC back into Bitcoin, and now I'm at Bitcoin. This may actually be a good time to sell the Bitcoin just from the chart perspective, but I was looking at it, what has happened previously. So I was comparing this to the 2019 situation, that as long as we hold inside the channel, that's going to be quite bullish. So we may even have like a mini bull run, but then we broke through the pattern here. As you can see, we broke through below it. So that's why I basically sold for USDC here. But in 2015 here, if we take a look at this bull market, you can see that we did actually have a lot of large drawdowns on Bitcoin, and we still kept the bull run going. So these even large drops may happen that may look like the crash has happened, and there will be further crash even lower. So it doesn't mean that the bull run is over and Bitcoin will just go down, but this is also not great. But if we can just get kind of cling here and go back above the channel here, that's gonna be very, very good. But for now, I'm just from the fundamental perspective, I'm still in Bitcoin. Once the operations resume, I will probably be selling Bitcoin. And if other people are also thinking the same as I am, then the price of Bitcoin will of course crash, and then I will be losing some money on the conversions. But it is what it is. For now, I'm just trying to kind of protect my position as well. Anyway, some people say this may have been an overreaction on my part, but I just thought it made a lot of sense to go all in on Bitcoin to protect against the market crash here. But for now, it seems like everything will be going back to normal as the way it was. But then again, I just want to emphasize that we have seen behind the curtain of the stablecoin platforms. So if you can trust them, or who can trust them going forward, I think they will have less trust. And because they will have less trust, that probably means that Bitcoin will have more trust. Maybe. But that's my thinking. I may be wrong. Anyway, that's it basically for this update. Hope you liked it. Consider subscribing. Let me know your thoughts below. What do you think is the correct play here? I will be reading the comments because I want to learn as well. And all of this is quite new for me. I'm not a Jesus who knows everything. I'm just trying to manage my portfolio as best as I can. Anyway, that's it for this video. I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.